Hi, I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 with Buffalo's classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on the Big Weck. Joining us on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise today is Nathan Vitaco, who is the Vice President of Operations for Reimer Home Services.
Yeah.
Nathan, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having me, Joe.
Glad to have you. You know, I was saying to you off the air just before we went on, every place I go, I see a Reimer.
It's hard to miss the big orange truck. It really is.
It is. And, you know, I think about the fact, I constantly think this, get Reimer on the horn because you see the big horn there, you know, like that. Yeah. And these guys, it's not like they're just flittering around. I mean, I passed a guy this morning, I think I told you coming over here, and the guy had, you know, his phone up to his ear, and he's going like this. So I'm sure he's working, you know.
As long as he's parked. We just want to make sure.
He's always parked. Unless he was on a dating site. No, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about, I mean, we're getting to the time of the year. You know, fall is here. We have had this unusually warm weather. As a matter of fact, I think my furnace went on for the first time just the other day. Do you recommend that people check their furnaces before the cold weather comes?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And we've been recommending this, you know, in August and September as well, just to have a technician come out and service your furnace before the cold, that first frost warning really strikes. I mean, we had it a couple days ago, and you know, this October has been unusually warm for this time of year. But yeah, absolutely. You know, our technicians we come out and we'll maintain your furnace just to make sure it's prepared for when, you know, the first lengthy cold strike hits.
When you first turn on your furnace, depending on what you got, is it unusual to have like that stale smell in the house?
Yeah, and you know, if it's just like a car, you know, if you start your car for the first time in a couple months and it hasn't really ran in a long time, it's just going to start to try to burn some oil or that has been sitting on the furnace for a little while. But if you really have, if your furnace is making some noise or there's this perpetuating smell that you're smelling, it's best to just get a technician out there. And we'll just make sure the furnace is operating properly and there's no issues.
What about, like, you know, I'm in an older condo or townhouse, and I have a boiler. I guess, you know, and it's new. I mean, the boiler's only a year old or whatever. Isn't it unusual to hear like banging when they, you know, when that first goes on or something? You know, sometimes it'll be in the middle of the night and you hear this bong bong. You're like this, and you're like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Especially if you're sleeping. Is that unusual? Does that just happen?
Yeah, that's just the pipes expanding with the heat. Yep, that's very normal.
Well, good, because, you know, I thought it was haunted for a second there. I was wondering what the heck was going on. What about filters and things like that? Do people check those regularly, and how often should you change like a furnace filter?
Yeah, of course. Furnace filters, I mean, you really want to change them monthly, and it really all depends on your system and the furnace. When our techs come out to the homes, we always recommend that the filters get changed monthly. There are some, as with anything, there are better filters than some. Some filters can last a little longer than a month, but we always recommend filters get changed often. It's, you know, it helps with the efficiency of the system, and then you're also not breathing in dirty air that's passing through a clogged, dirty filter.
What about emergency services? I hate to bring it up, but, you know, something happens in the middle of the night, something happens on the weekend, something happens on a holiday.
Yeah, we are, as much as the community is prepared for this winter, Reimer is also prepared for when the first snow strikes. We provide emergency services. We're open 24/7. And I think a lot of people can remember the blizzard from a couple years ago. Roads were shut down. All emergency services were shut down. Unfortunately, we couldn't get on the roads ourselves, but we were calling out to customers, and we were able to solve problems for customers over the phone, get heat back up for homes, and you know, we ended up getting a Good Neighbor Award for in 2022 when that blizzard came. I want to talk about that stuff in the community, but one other thing: if someone's looking to put a generator in their home, can you give them advice on that, or help them hook it up to the, you know? Yes, yeah. So, and you know, Reimer started off as heating and cooling. 15 years ago, we got into plumbing, And about 2 years ago, we started to get into our electrical services. So we can provide services for generators. You know, we have a technician come out and, you know, we can inspect panels to make sure there's no water or rust in your panel. We can do a lot of read devices, but absolutely, especially in the winter months, if you're expecting the power to go out, a whole home generator or a supplemental generator is a very good idea.
We only have about a minute and a half left. Tell me what Reimer does in the community.
Yeah, so we really show up for the moments that matter. We had a great event about a week ago, making strides, and the Breast and American Cancer Society. We partnered with them, and we had a great event down at Terminal B. A lot of families that know somebody who are currently affected by breast cancer showed up, and it was just a very heartwarming an event, and it's so great to be able to make that type of impact in the community.
Well, we really thank you for what Reimer does in the community, and please keep it up because it's a big benefit to Western New York. And thank you very much for being with us today, Nathan. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Reimer Home Services by calling 716-302-HORN or go to callreimer.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by Reimer Home Services. And you can join me 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays with classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on The Big Weck.